First of all, what are we looking at in terms of the situation today? The government has told us that 5,000 extra staff have been put on. Are they now all online? Are they in the field?
They're not at this stage. What we are looking at and what the union and Centrelink workers are working with Government and Services Australia is on some redeployment options within the agency itself. That means moving people from other functions to frontline functions, but it will take more time to get those 5,000 new staff on. What we need government to do, what Centrelink workers need government to do, what all those thousands of Australians who are waiting for help need government to do is move as quickly as possible to increase capacity, to move as quickly as possible to get those 5,000 people on the phones helping people who need it.
Realistically, how long is that going to take?
Look, that's hard to say. These are extraordinary times, so we would be expecting and calling on government to move quicker than they ever have before. So we would like to see people coming on board next week to help, because the reality is if this takes too long, we continue to see the kinds of quite distressing scenes, distressing for those people waiting, distressing for our members, the Centrelink workers, that we saw on Monday and even yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. Now, of the 5,000, do you know if a portion of those, is it a couple of hundred that have been brought to the front line, or you just don't have those figures?
We don't have those figures yet. One of the things we are calling on Government and Services Australia to do with that 5,000 is to make sure they're directly engaged Centrelink workers. What we know from our experience dealing with labour hire and Serco call centres and those kind of arrangements is it creates double handling. We don't have the time for that. These people are desperate for assistance, and we need them on the front line working for Centrelink as soon as possible.
Look, we've been told that the front line has been bolstered. There are more people in call centres, more people in Centrelink. Is that just not happening? Has that not happened in the last couple of days?
There are a range of functions, range of important functions that exist across Services Australia, and we have seen moves to increase the number of people answering calls directly or helping in those frontline offices. So there are some moves within the agency itself. But the reality is that with the staffing they currently have, in a business as usual situation, there are up to 55 million unanswered calls. There is no capacity in the system for normal circumstances, and what we're clearly dealing with are not normal circumstances.
So 55 million unanswered calls, you say. Is that over just the last 2 days?
No, 55 million unanswered calls in a year.
Right, okay. And I imagine a big portion of that has been over the last couple of days. People have reported being online, hold on the phone for 4 hours, unable to get online. And of course, we've seen those lines at Centrelink offices. I'm just trying to really get to the facts here. So we're told that 5,000 more staff will be brought on. You're saying, well, there is extra capacity, but you don't really know how many at this stage. Is that right?
So within the agency itself, we are seeing some functions like those Centrelink workers who deal with compliance, which is robo-debt kind of issues, being moved to the front line. That's within Services Australia. The 5,000 jobs that were announced on the weekend is an additional capacity. So they are new jobs, and we want to see them in place as soon as possible. One of the things that is increasingly clear this week, and I think increasingly clear to government, is that itself might not be enough. We need to look at either additional capacity in addition to the 5,000 or capacity from other areas of the public sector.
Just one final question before I let you go. Late last night, the government sent out a statement saying that the mutual obligation requirements for anyone on an unemployment benefit will be relaxed by a week. I mean, there could be a 15% unemployment rate in this country. What do you think about the relaxation of the rules by a week? Would you call for that to be indefinite?
Look, we have been calling for the relaxing of those mutual obligation rules. We know that there's going to be really significant unemployment. We're also dealing with a public health pandemic. So whilst it's good it has been relaxed for a period, it's clearly not long enough. We think there are a range of measures government could take here, including looking at mutual obligation, including looking at backdating of applications for job seekers to when they lost their job. That would help the system and would ease pressure.